Now, we have seen glitches with Ape and AMC's market cap showing a share price of $27,000 a share, market caps of 13.5 trillion, 400 billion, so on and so forth. And Daniel Johnson on Twitter brings up a very good point that all of the data MarketWatch shows comes in every 15 minutes and is fact-checked. Therefore, if a glitch or some sort were to happen, after 15 minutes, it's no longer a glitch because that is updated and fact-checked. So the data that they are receiving and reporting as fact is not a glitch after 15 minutes if it occurs any longer. Now, on a daily basis, me and you, we see AMC barcoding sideways and the price is heavily controlled. Now, a lot of people are receiving this though. I received a DM and they can't buy AMC right now. 18 halts are showing on my TD America platform in pre-market. You can see right here, this symbol is temporarily unavailable for trading. Plus another person says Moscow Exchange is showing AMC is up 3.755 billion in just the first 15 minutes of trading of pre-market from Friday's close. Now, MEMX is a shared alternative trading system, unregulated dark pool. I invite you all to do some digging. Now that they're in survival mode and relying on repo instead of interbank settlements, I wonder how they continue on with their ping pong. MEMX is used by Bank of America, BlackRock, Schwab, E-Trade, Citi, Citadel, Fidelity, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Virtu, so on and so forth. MEMX was approved to launch an options chain in August 2022, and EDXM is their crypto arm started 1 month after they launched their options exchange. And Jamal Nazarali, formerly global head of business development at Citadel Securities, serves as the chief executive officer at EDXM. All conflicts of interest, all loopholes, and they all correlate with the drop of AMC's price. So why was Gary Gensler at the Friday emergency meeting? The possibility of the Fed having to buy a few trillion of CMBS so Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, and Bank of America didn't go under, but why Gary? Which hedge funds needed the massive bailout too? Touching on this, CNBC reportedly delisted the credit default swap data for 5 banks, which includes JP Morgan and Bank of America, and we saw CDSs flying with certain banks like Deutsche Bank. There you go, I corrected myself for you guys in the comments, always correcting me. Credit Suisse, so on and so forth. Also, right before we saw SVB collapse. Now, why would they do this? Of course, because they're going to skyrocket to insane levels because of the amount of loans that are going out, and we are going to touch on that a little bit later in the video. Since I didn't introduce myself yet, what is going on? My name is Lottery Stocks. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. I want to move on with the video, but please, all I ask you guys to do since you made it this far is hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's move on. Adam Aaron just dropped a tweet. AMC moviegoers continue to eat and drink well. 2 weeks ago, we sat at an all-time record with the highest weekly food and beverage revenues per patron FBRBP in AMC's 103-year history. On March 24th, 25th, and 26th, we set a new record again for the highest ever weekend for the food and beverage revenues per patron. So a quick round of applause for the fundamentals of the company. But again, Adam Aaron still aggravated me with that Photoshop comment that he left recently on his Twitter. Touching on the charts real quick. The charts are very simple. AMC's price is being controlled as to what's shown for us. The on-balance volume is high, the price has been dropped, and on other markets you're seeing halts and you're seeing a different share price, you're seeing different market caps, so on and so forth. And what we're being shown is illegal. It's fucked up. They're going to try and change the currency on us potentially when this thing gets bailed out, when this thing gets hit. And for the time being, it looks like we're going to see red. It looks like AMC is going to sell off further. It looks like GameStop is going to sell off further. However, GameStop held this support level, this week's support level, at $22.70-ish a share. I would see it looking for a bounce at $22.30 as well before potentially selling off even more or getting a bounce and getting another rejection right around $24.60. It's going to ping pong back and forth essentially until it picks a direction. Currently, I do have puts on GameStop temporarily. If you want to know my trades, join the Discord linked under the video so you can talk with me on the daily, plus 400 of the most amazing people where we get access to options trading alerts and more. And we also do not miss stock opportunities in there, so make sure to do that. Essentially, I'm expecting red across the board over the next couple of weeks. And looking at the SPY, this is interesting because where the SPY is trading at right around 395.90, up 1.31% and down 1.31% exactly are the two trend lines the SPY would have to hit for support or a resistance level, and one major resistance and one major support before this thing would actually make a move. So the SPY is not in the spot to make a decision zone within one day. I think tomorrow the SPY is either going to scale back up to this trend line at 401 or it's going to have a drop back to 391. So you're sitting right between those levels, and that is essentially my outlook on the SPY. I think it is going to make one of these moves tomorrow. Whether it opens green or opens red, I think it's going to follow that pattern and close how it opens come tomorrow at one of those levels. So that is my take on the S&P 500. Touching on Ortex numbers for AMC real quick, 24.98% short interest. Utilization is maxed out with a cost to borrow sitting at 377% for an average, 388 for a max. So shorts are paying 3 times their position, almost 4 times their position. As for APE, 5.6% short interest, utilization sitting around 80%, and the cost to borrow right around 10.5%. Stonko Tracker reporting a 214% fee on AMC. Calls to puts, we're losing on the options chain, 10,000 calls compared to 62,000 puts expiring in the money. However, there is a ton of people betting calls out of the money right now on AMC going forward. But again, I do expect a little bit of chop trading and sell off for AMC and GameStop going forward. Now, the next thing I wanted to touch on is 3/23, so March 23rd and the 22nd and the 21st. All 3 of these dates, you can see the short exempts loaded up on AMC. And if you actually go over and look at them on GameStop when it had its earnings on the 22nd, this is very, very high for short exempts on GameStop. On top of the coins that were issued that we went over a few days ago on GameStop, the new tokens that were issued to drop the stock, they also issued short exempts. So they basically just tanked GameStop upon this earnings. It means it had a ton of volume, had a ton of buying pressure. The algos wanted to push it, and they stumped it as much as possible. The 55% gain was the minimum that we probably could have gotten. We probably would have made a lot more money on GameStop. But according to Stonko Tracker, GameStop has 750,000 shares available to borrow at a most recent fee of 18.6%, and we are tied on the options chain 9,000 to 9,000 for calls to puts expiring in the money, except more people are bullish on this week, with 51,000 calls expiring out of the money compared to 34,000 puts expiring out of the money. Moving on, the Fed's balance sheet in 2003 was 730 billion. 20 years later, today's date, $8.7 trillion, which is more than a 12x in just 20 years. And honestly, the majority happened of that over the past few years. Silicon Valley's bank's failure will cost $20 billion. That's almost a sixth of the pool of funds that insures U.S. depositors. And U.S. banks are sitting on a 1.7 trillion in unrealized losses. Research says that's not a problem until it is. Finally, before we close out the video, FINRA's facing serious legal issues with multiple lawsuits filed against them. And now, guys, if you want to take trades better than me and take setups better than me, and you don't have a lot of time on your hand to map out setups and kind of track them, a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Chart Prime. But before we get into that, make sure to get 17 free stocks for just signing up and depositing for Moomoo. I'll leave that linked right under the video. Also pop in Discord as well. Imagine upping your game and having a 99% win rate in trading. Well, Chart Prime does that, as one of their analysts has a 99% win rate, and a ton of their members are making serious gains, saving a ton of time. Basically, with 6 unique indicators and trading algorithms, Chart Prime charts setups for you as they come about, such as bull flag, bear flag, so on and so forth. They also chart what is a strong support level and what is a strong resistance level, vice versa, and categorize them in certain levels. So get access to one-on-one trading, use these algorithms, and up your game, up your level, up your status by hitting the link down below, signing up for Chart Prime, because it's a lot cheaper than anything you probably use and a lot better as well. Now, none of this is financial advice, and I can't guarantee you're making money off of anything. What I can tell you is you're getting a steal deal by using my link and signing up. Thank you, Chart Prime, for sponsoring today's video.